Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
Yes.
Name and address for the record, please.
It's Thomas Hall, 12350 Charles Street, La Plata, Maryland, 20646.
Okay.
Thank you for your time. Please bear with some of the redundancy. The reason I will kind of restate some things is you've heard about the hunt club that has the property currently. Well, I'm the vice president of that hunt club. And if anybody knows the topography of that land, it's us. A decade? No, we've been there 14 years. It was stated there was a current driveway. It's a four-wheeler path. So it will have to be widened. Some of the wetland concerns where the current, on the map where they have the current plans that directly overlooks beaver ponds, a larger creek that is not noted on that. They did state there was some other wetland areas. Yes, there is. There's 3 beaver ponds on that land, including the one that is directly behind where they want to locate their range. The entrance currently is shared with Pepco. So if they're going to gate it, somebody else is going to have a lock to it because we share a lock with Pepco to access our property. And also, where that current range is, there's not a flat piece of property, a flat area on this piece of property. It rolls. Where they're proposing putting their range, it actually does roll, and it rolls down. And when you're standing on top of that property, if you look straight through those trees, there is houses behind those trees in Heritage Knolls. So if there's any stray ammo or discharges, it's going straight through those trees right into the backyards of the people in Heritage Knolls. We do not hunt that end of the property for those specific reasons. We stay away from those boundaries because there are people in Heritage Knolls that butt up against the property, and we have concerns about being too close to their property. So, that really needs to be taken into consideration where these stray things go. You read a box of 22 ammo, and it tells you, and this is just a 22 rifle, that this can go 1.5 miles. That not only is Heritage Knolls, that's across the street, that's Smallwood State Park, that's quite a ways. So usually you build on a flat piece of property, this rolls. And again, behind that is quite a large creek and beaver pond. So, you could have some contamination of lead runoff into the water system, around the area. So, my other thing is also, nobody has mentioned the fact that there's actually a historical landmark on this property, Granny Thompson School. It is, if you Google Granny Thompson School, it will GPS it and come right up to that property. So I don't know the effect of that, but I just figured I would bring that up, that, there is a historical landmark on this piece of property. We've been stewards of this property for 14 years. And taking great pains to keep this property the way it was designed in a forestry conservation easement. DNR, if you approve, which I hope not because I do oppose it, if DNR, they have it strictly outlined how it has to be. No improvements, has to stay in forestry. This is not forestry. So, let me see if there was anything else, because I do not want to take up a lot of other people's time. I don't know if maybe some type of environmental study needs to be done by the Army Corps of Engineers with all the wetlands that are on this property. I do know that when it was originally cut down and timbered, that they had to keep 40 feet on each side of all tributaries that were through there. So there's some existing larger timber in there that they could not cut down. So I would think that's about it. Like I said, I don't want to take up a lot of time, and I didn't want to be redundant on anybody else, but I wanted to give some more input of somebody who has had 14 years worth of experience on this property and understand, about this property a little bit more than somebody who comes down the second day of shotgun season and gets you out of your deer stand, so you have to let them in and traipse all through the property and then leave, and then comes down at opening day of turkey season. So Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, can I briefly cross-examine this witness?
Sure.
I believe that's my right. Mr. Hall, if this use is approved and St. Charles Sportsman buys this property, are you going to lose your hunting lease on that property?
Oh, obviously.
Okay, thank you.
And can I ask you a question? Or could you ask him a question for me then later on? It's irrelevant. All I did was give you information on the topography and stuff that I didn't say anything other than giving you the outline of the land.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
It's irrelevant about my lease.
All right.